Hi everyone, welcome to your first tutorial. Since your classes have gone online, there have been a few changes, so I thought I'd make this instructional video so you can work along with me. You can pause it, you can revisit it. This is just a handy guide and we'll be building these up over the next 8 weeks. Okay, so let's start with opening a file. So we're going to set up a new file to start with. Same way, this is all should be familiar with you, because it looks very much like Photoshop. So let's create new. And we're going to go for, our image is landscape. So I'm going to choose A4, let's make it landscape, and a good workflow is that you name everything so you can find it again. So let's go for portrait live trace. Okay, so what we need to do now is we're using a stock image. So the stock image will be shared with all of you, so you'll have it, and we'll be working on exactly the same file. So what I need to do is I go up to my top bar and I click on File, and what I need to do is I'm going to place an image. So rather than importing, you'll find that some of the terminology is different in Illustrator, but you place an image and you're placing it on this white box here is called an artboard. Okay, so you click on place, and the image that I want to use is in this folder, so you'll see it in your folders. Excuse me. Double click, and right here is the image that we're working with, stock image. And you'll see that just then, I'll show you that again. So click on place, select your image, and you'll see that the image is stuck to the cursor. So I need to click a position where I want the image to sit. This is different from Photoshop, but you'll find InDesign is exactly the same as this. Okay, so once we've clicked on it, you'll see that the image overhangs the artboard. So like in Photoshop, we just need to resize it. Okay, so we need to make sure that we always drag at a diagonal from the corner, holding down the Shift key. And I've seen quite a few of you before now grabbing it here, not holding the Shift key, and then you end up with something that looks like that. That's the quickest way to bad design. We don't want bad designs. Okay, so we're going to stretch it out so it fits to our artboard, and obviously there's a few bits at the side where we're not going to miss, so it doesn't matter that it's overhanging a little bit. What we do want to do is keep her hair and most of her jacket in the frame for what we want to do. Okay, so you'll see now you can make this really small, make it really big, get into the habit of, if you're working on a particular area, make sure that you're zoomed in. You can see that this is a high quality image because when I pasted it in, it came in at physically at a large size. You'll find that I'm sure you've all done it at some point, got an image from the internet, pasted it on, and it ends up looking like a postage stamp on your page. That shows you that it's a low resolution. You want to avoid using images like that. You want to use high resolution images to get the best detail. Okay, so what we need to do now that we've learned how to place an image and resize it, we're going to click on this. Okay, by clicking on this, it selects the image. And by selecting the image, it reveals a lot more options for us to edit the image. Okay, so you'll see if I click off of it, they all disappear. Click back on, and and it's related to the image. Okay, so because we've imported an image that is quite large, Illustrator will take a while thinking about transferring it, or transforming it I should say. So what we're going to do is we'll preempt that, we'll change the size of it ourselves. Okay, so up the top, you can't see this because my screen record has cut off, but in the top section you'll see that it says Object. You want to click on Object and you want to rasterize. Okay, we're going to rasterize and change the size of it. Okay, so because we're not going to be printing this, I would say that 150, or if you're viewing it on the screen, then 72. I'm going to go for 72, and you make sure that it's CMYK. Okay, and you want to put your background on transparent, and we're going to click OK. Right, okay, now we've resized the image, so we shouldn't have a problem when we come to live trace. Okay, so we're going to do some experimentations with image trace, just so you understand the different parts of it, and start to make choices, visual choices, of what you like and what you don't like and what you want to change. So what we're going to do are several exercises where we're going to run through and get visual outcomes for each of the options. Those visual outcomes will end up being pages in your digital sketchbook. So you'll see there's a little arrow next to image trace. If you click on that, this gives us all the presets. You can run through all of these if you want to and see what the different outcomes will be. The ones that we're looking at specifically today is 3, 6 and 16 are the outcomes that I want, and also just a straight image trace. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with image trace, and we're not going to do anything to it, we're just going to see what that looks like. Okay, so in terms of images, that is quite striking. So this would be perfect for some of your projects. Definitely remember this, because it might be a technique that you want to use for another project, or that we can use later down the line in this project. Okay, so what I would suggest you do is let's save a copy of this. So let's save a copy, and let's go to, let's call it, let's change that to black and white. And what we're going to do is let's just put it on our desktop. And you can save it as an AI folder, it's fine, it opens up just fine in Photoshop. Okay, all of those are fine. Click OK. Alright, so that's saved. So let's do Command Z to get our image back to how it was. Okay, so what we're going to do now is have a look at the 3 colour, 6 colour, 16 colours. So what you can do is pause me and then come back to me when you've experimented with the outcome for each of these 3 colours, and that you've got a screenshot for each of them, as you're going to build up a how to do this guide for your digital sketchbook. Okay. Right, so I'm going to show you, I've gone through all of these, and I know already that my favourite is going to be 16 colours. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so you can see that it's every tonal change within the image is picked up. If you click on here, you can see that the whole thing is selected. If you click on here, yep, you can see that the whole thing is selected. Right, so if we right click, what we need to do is we need to, hang on, first of all we need to click expand. Okay, so by expanding you'll see that there are different sections for all of the tonal variations. So this is something that we're going to be working with now. So we've clicked expand, and then you'll see that if I move it around, it's all still one document. Okay, so So what we want to do is right click and ungroup. Okay, nothing looks like it's changed, but the power of Adobe is that each of these sections now is individual. I can click the whole thing, or I can get one section. Oh. And interesting. Let's group. Okay, you need to make sure that you click off of the image first because the whole image was selected. That's where I was going wrong. Okay, so click on one little section of it. Actually, I'll tell you the bit that I'm going to get that I spotted. Not there. You look right on the end of her nose is a little blue dot. She doesn't need that. Okay, so what we can do is we could, if we wanted to, take this dropper tool and okay, and then that's disappeared, which is much nicer. So you'll see now that these sections are isolated, so we can mess around with these and start to reveal the background. For the task that we're going to do next, it's a good thing to reveal some of the background. So there you go, you can work your way through them just by clicking delete. If you've got small little ones like this, you can draw a box around them and do them as a group. And it cleans up the area quite nicely. There might be areas of it that you like, that you want to keep. You might not want to get rid of everything from the background. You might want to get rid of larger areas or smaller areas. You might want to change different colours. So the way that I changed that colour earlier, just the dropper tool, I could change her hair blue if I wanted, or white, or whatever colour you want to. And if you're not happy with it, Command Z. Or if you want to move it, you can do. And you can make it bigger. By making it bigger, you create an offset. Offset is a printing term. Is when something's not aligned properly and it reveals the background. Offset. Good word for the glossary. Okay, so I'm going to leave you to play around with that. And I want you to create, let's say, 5 different outcomes where you are changing areas of it, you're deleting different areas, and you're changing the colours. The good part about any of these programs are if you do it wrong or you make a mistake, you do Command Z and you can just go back, all the way back to the beginning. And that's it. Okay, so I'll leave you with that and then look forward to seeing all of your outcomes.